Hi Charlie, welcome to the 12th day of my video polling experiment where I break down and analyze the LinkedIn poll that I posted last week and that closed this morning. Now, today's topic might seem a little bit niche, but when you consider that a lot of my LinkedIn connections work for this company or are affiliated with it, it's not that surprising that it generated 99 votes, and I think when I checked this morning, it was a little over 100 votes, because that 99 figure came from yesterday evening. So anyway, this mysteriously popular poll question was, is Charles Schwab stock a good long-term investment? There were three answer choices, no, actually four this time. Yes, no, maybe, and I have no idea. Now, Charles Schwab is a full-service broker-dealer firm that provides financial services ranging from resetting the password for your account to full-fledged long-term financial planning. So any financial services investing need that you have, just call Charles Schwab helpline and they will find an expert that can assist you and ensure that you're building long-term wealth and preparing today to own your tomorrow, financially, of course. So the voter distribution ended up being yes, 41% of voters thought Charles Schwab stock is a good long-term investment. 5% thought that Charles Schwab stock was not a good long-term investment. 30% thought maybe it's a good long-term investment, and 23% were honest enough to admit that they had no idea if Charles Schwab stock was a good long-term investment, which makes complete sense. It's a little hard to assess if a particular stock is going to go up or down. Even if you have access to the publicly available information like earnings reports, you just don't know what's going on in the C-suite. You don't know exactly what's going on with the corporate side of things. All you can kind of do is assess the company as a customer, like what kind of service are you receiving, what seems to be the vibe of the person assisting you, what are the news stories surrounding this company, etc. So anyway, onto the statistics about Charles Schwab. Most of these are pulled from their recent quarterly earnings report, which came out last Tuesday, immediately after MLK Day. So the first stat I have is Charles Schwab's Q4 2024 revenue grew 20% year over year to $5.33 billion. Now, any company, I'm sure, except maybe a startup, would be thrilled with a 20% revenue growth rate, so good for Schwab for achieving it. This $5.33 billion exceeded estimates of $5.19 billion. That's the estimate that analysts had a few months ago about what their earnings were going to look like for last quarter. Charles Schwab's full-year revenue growth was 4%. Again, this exceeded the December 2024 analyst guidance of 3 to 3.5%, so kudos to Schwab for exceeding expectations. And Charles Schwab's revenue is projected to increase by 13 to 15% in 2024, which is significantly more than the full-year revenue growth of 4% in 2024, so kudos to Schwab for being so ambitious and implementing a strategic plan that's going to make Schwab even more profitable than it already is. Total client assets at Schwab are currently $10.1 trillion. That is, yes, 12 zeros after the 10. And Charles Schwab exceeded $10 trillion in assets under management in November 2024. So assets under management are basically the sum total of all the assets that Schwab clients have chosen to bring to Schwab in their brokerage and investment accounts. And 33% of Schwab's new-to-firm households are under the age of 30. This is pretty significant because Charles Schwab does tend to have a somewhat older client base that are more used to that one-on-one service, hence why it's so committed to providing that superior customer service over the phone and in person. So having so many of Schwab's new-to-firm households be so young is probably a step in the right direction in terms of getting these individuals into the Schwab system, into that long-term prudent investment early on, so that they will hopefully remain loyal and active and wealth-building clients for many decades to come. So I hope you enjoyed that overview about Charles Schwab's earnings report. And while I know you don't have too many assets of your own right now, if you ever do accumulate some assets, maybe you you store up some toys or something, Charles Schwab seems like a pretty good bet to conserve and even grow those assets. Again, none of what I'm saying is financial advice. Please consult a financial professional for financial advice. I am just stating a couple of facts that I found on some publicly available websites and the results of my poll, which are publicly available as well. So thank you again, Charlie, for listening to my 12th polling video update, and stay tuned for polling update 13 tomorrow. Bye.